Teacher Alan once again. I'm back as usual for my two subjects, and specifically today, we are going to have a look at biology specifically. Today, I want us to continue with our chemical coordination and cover the part we had left behind. It is a crucial part that we must know before we move on to nervous coordination. There are portions of this we always, actually, as teachers, leave behind, but very crucial. So you're most welcome to Msime Imran. As we wait for more members to join, Jemima is with us. Hello to you, Jemima. Jimbo Halima is with us. You're most welcome. You're most welcome. We are waiting for some small number of people to join. Kaka Martha Bushia is with us. Kaka, your real name? Can I know your real name before we continue? Halima, you're most welcome. Paddy is with us. I'm grateful. Sebuf is an active member. Sebuf is already with us. As we wait for more members to join, Kaka is Martha Kaka. You're most welcome, Kaka. So we can start with that little number, as others will find us on the way. Is Fifi with us? Mugisa Kevin is with us. That's great. You're most welcome. I want us to continue from where we stopped on chemical coordination. We cover that part. You may need to know that part. Any other member present? Or only those ones we start? Maybe, if you don't mind, we can pick on from there, as other members will find us.
We also welcome Nakauchi Fiona has joined us on this live. Please, guys, you can share the link to your friends, share the link to your WhatsApp groups. Tell them this is Muto Online. We teach at a free cost. So invite your friends, tell your parents. We are yet even to release our chemistry notes book. Come January, we shall bring for you that textbook. We are summarizing chemistry so that you can revise very simply. So you tell your parents, they prepare some little money, shall be announcing to you.
To move on, I'm sorry for that interruption, but I'm back. I want us to continue with the chemical coordination. It is a crucial part. We need to know. We previously looked at the pituitary gland, the hormones of the pituitary gland, their roles, and the challenges for the hypo and hypersecretions of those hormones. For now, I want us to look at the thyroid gland. We are going to go through them very fast, such that we can cover enough. The thyroid gland, there are actually two glands located at the upper part of the neck, near the larynx. we can have a look at. We are going to have a look at them. They are two in number, so it is bilobe, the thyroid gland. It has two lobes at the larynx part. It is red in color, and this thyroid gland serves a certain function. Yes, here it is. If this is your head and this is your neck, there is this red part in the neck at the larynx. These are the ones we call the thyroid glands. For them, we also have what we call the parathyroids. We shall look at them, or the parathyroid glands. The thyroid gland secrete the hormone secreted is known as the thyroxine hormone. Thyroxine hormone serves one major purpose. The purpose or the function of the thyroxine hormone is to regulate. It regulates basal metabolic rates in the body. That is the major function of the thyroxine hormone. Regulation, the word basal metabolic rate, the BMR, is simply that minimum rate of energy formation by a body at rest, so as to run, actually to keep the body cells live. Remember, for any cell to be alive, it must be carrying out all the what we call the life processes. We know them. There is respiration. There is gas. There is nutrition, and all other life processes we know. The one that can maintain a body at rest need a certain amount of energy to run them. This energy is at most times less, and it is known as basal metabolic rate. The rate at which it is formed is known as BMR, basal metabolic rate. So this rate at which this minimum energy is formed by the body at rest is controlled or regulated by the thyroxine hormone. The thyroxine hormone is actually an iodine-containing hormone. It is majorly synthesized out of iodine. So, of which, when the secretion of iodine, when the availability of iodine in the body is less, it will result into hyposecretion of this hormone, thyroxine hormone. The less secretion of this thyroxine hormone will always result into a condition we call goiter. Goiter is as a result of insufficient iodine in the diet, in the body, in the way that whenever the thyroid gland tries as much as possible to extract more iodine from the body that has less, it swells, resulting into that condition we call goiter. And goiter is swelling of the thyroid glands, inflammation of the thyroid glands. So hyposecretion, remember we said the word hypo means low. Hyposecretion of thyroxine hormone results into goiter, which is characterized by inflammation, which is commonly known as swelling of the thyroid glands. And this swelling, you've said, is as a result of the thyroid gland trying to absorb or to extract iodine, which is very less in the body, that makes it swell. As they try to extract as much iodine, which is insufficient in the body. So these things you must know which gland secretes which hormone, what makes up that hormone, what is the major purpose of that hormone, what is the target tissue or cells or organs for that hormone. You must know what low secretion results into and what high secretion results into. So low secretion of thyroxine hormone results into goiter, which goiter is characterized of inflammation or swelling of the thyroid glands. The swelling is as a result of the thyroid gland trying as much as it can to extract more iodine, which we already know that it is insufficient in the body. So this is what brings about the swelling of those thyroid glands. So we have to look at the conditions for hypersecretion and then hypersecretion. Hypersecretion, the word hyper means high, stands for high secretion of thyroxine hormone. This results into a medical condition we call Dev's disease. Dev's disease, which people sometimes call exophthalmia, which some people call hyperthyroidism. These are all terms to mean the condition that results into hypersecretion of thyroxine hormone. It has symptoms. The hyperthyroidism has symptoms. There are indications of this condition. So Tumsime is asking me to pardon on BMR. I'm going to go through it. Martha Kaka, you're most welcome. Welcome already. Fiona, you're most welcome. Lila Ismark, sorry, I'm late. Sorry, but you will get us. I've said that basal metabolic rate is the minimum rate of energy formation by the body at rest. is what we call the basal metabolic rate. Remember, as you are resting, you cannot control any activity on your body. Yet the body cells have to keep alive. So what the body does, it carries on energy formation, but at a minimum rate. This minimum rate of energy formation is intended to run the life processes that will keep the body cells alive. And this state at which this body is generating, or this minimum rate at which the body is generating the energy, is the one we call basal metabolic rate. So hypersecretion results into what we call Devil's disease. Some people call it exophthalmia or hyperthyroidism. And other people call it, they call it they usually call it, it is a term they use, I'm forgetting. But the disease is called Graves' disease or thyromic goiter, exophthalmic goiter, and it has symptoms which include protruding eyeballs, and the protruding eyeballs give a person a funnel. And this funnel look is known as the Starling look, the Starling appearance that results into Starling appearance. So the kind of goiter caused by hypersecretion is known as the word is exophthalmic goiter, what we call Devil's disease. With these symptoms, one of them is protruding eyeballs. It is also characterized of extreme thinness. These people appear too small, too tiny. So they are always slim in size. They are underweight. I'm talking about the adults. Such people with this Devil's disease, they always have deformed bones. They have a part with deformed bones, and this is as a result. And this is always as a result of excessive loss of calcium and phosphorus from the bones. Such people are also characterized of having an increased appetite. When they start to eat, they eat for today, tomorrow, and tomorrow's tomorrow in 1 hour. We are giving symptoms of Devil's disease. What I'm talking of, a funnel look, we can look at this. This is a person with Devil's disease. Do you see that look there? That is known as Devil's disease or exophthalmic goiter. So those are symptoms, some of the symptoms of Graves' disease. We can continue. We are talking about the symptoms of devil's disease. We have palpitation of the heart. The Baganda call it omutima guba gwewuuba buli kaseera. What we call tachycardia. Palpitation of the heart. We are giving the symptoms of devil's disease that is caused as a result of hypersecretion of thyroid hormone. In children, the hypersecretion results into pot-bellied and stunted children with actually mental retardation. This kind of people whose thyroid glands produce a lot or secrete a lot of thyroxine in children, these people are always stunted. They don't grow. You may find a kid of over 17 years, but very young when you look at him or her. These people, they always have a swollen belly. These people with hypersecretion, they are always mentally retarded to an extent that they can do nothing on their own. They cannot feed themselves. Even when you put a plate of food in front of them, they cannot pick the food and eat it. They cannot take themselves to a toilet. They cannot know that I want to urinate, I should move out and urinate. They urinate where they are. So they are usually mentally retarded to an extent that they can do nothing on their own. So they are always just helped. All of these are symptoms of hypersecretion of thyroxine hormone. Before we move on, we are entertaining some questions. You please go on and type any question you have, any supplement. I'm going to find it and maybe comment on it. So these are some of the symptoms of devil's disease in both adults and children. Anorexia is also another symptom. Yes, it is another symptom. What is the meaning of cretinism? So these ones I've explained. I didn't want to use that term. It may sound too big. There is a person or a child who's termed as a cretin. Is a person with all these symptoms I've mentioned. Is a pot-bellied child. Is a mentally retarded child with a stunted type of growth. Is known as a cretin. Let me think I'm clear. And this condition I've explained is known as cretinism. Let me think I've answered Mugisa Kevin. Mugisa, this is the condition we call cretinism. And cretins have these symptoms: pot-bellied, stunted in terms of growth, and are mentally retarded. Have I answered you? We know Matilda, better late than never, but now I have just arrived. Sorry, but you're most welcome. Gemma Ryan is with us. Mugisa, I'm so grateful that I've answered you. To move on, we can look at we can look at parathyroid gland. Yes, Fiona, you told us about anorexia. Please inform your friends what that term means. So there is another gland we call parathyroid gland. The parathyroid gland is also located in the same position where the thyroid gland is. It secretes the hormone secreted by the thyroid gland. The parathyroid gland is known as the parathyroid hormone. Its target organs or target tissues are the bones and blood. What role does it play there? The role played by the parathyroid hormone is to regulate calcium and phosphorus metabolism. And phosphorus metabolism in the body. It is all about regulation of phosphorus and calcium absorption between blood and bones of any body, of any organism. It is secreted by the parathyroid gland. It plays the vital role in cases of low secretion. This is when it plays a vital role in cases of hyposecretion. When it is secreted in low amounts, it causes deposition of calcium and phosphorus into bones, lowering their concentration in blood. So hyposecretion or low secretion of parathyroid gland will always cause the deposition of the calcium and phosphorus from the blood into bones. So if the calcium and phosphorus are deposited into the bones, this condition will always lead to formation of strong and well-structured bones, healthy bones. So we shall have no cases of deformation of bones, what we call osteoporosis. However, any miscoordination leading to hypersecretion of parathyroid hormone, it will do the vice versa. The hypersecretion of the parathyroid gland will increase blood calcium and phosphorus concentration such that actually from bones. So the hypersecretion of parathyroid hormone will increase the rate at which calcium and phosphorus is picked from bones into blood. And this will result in increased amounts of calcium and phosphorus in blood. And once these increase in blood, it will result into excessive excretion of the calcium and phosphorus through urine. And once this happens, we know the result, we know the outcome. The outcome will obviously be osteoporosis, bone deformation, bone disorders, formation of very weak bones. We can go on and say this results into formation of very weak and unhealthy bones, and sometimes deformed bones. Remember, the calcium is playing and phosphorus are playing vital roles in the formation of these bones, hardening and formation of these bones. Let me think I'm talking. Let me think I'm using the language we know. I don't want to leave anyone. We said the symptom of Halima, the symptom of goiter is majorly swelling of the thyroid glands. Swelling of the thyroid glands. Fiona, you've not responded to your friends the meaning of anorexia. You haven't told them. Let me think I'm talking before we continue. We can send in questions as comments. Send in questions as comments. I want to respond to some questions. I want to respond to questions. I'm looking at the phone here to see questions. I'm waiting for questions. I don't see them. I want to go to another gland. So, Mugisha, ask some questions. We know it is Kevin. All right, there is a question here from Fiona. Anorexia is an eating disorder characterized by distorted body image and intense fear of gaining weight. I think we learned this. We learned this in eating disorders for those who covered nutrition. For those who covered nutrition. What is the characteristic of anorexia? Let's remind ourselves before we continue. We have two major eating disorders. There is bulimia and anorexia. We have two major eating disorders. Please. So Tumsime Imran is asking, how can they set about the thyroid gland? I'm going to set you a scenario. I'm going to set a scenario. We shall see. I'm going to set a scenario about thyroxine, and I will specify that this is about, actually I set them, I have them on paper. We are going to post them in the group. Let me think we are moving to, on the same pace. I don't want to leave anyone. All right, let's move on to another gland. I don't want to leave anyone behind. This is from Gemma Ryan, who is asking, what are the functions of one hormone secreted by each endocrine gland? I think we are mentioning each of these ones, Gemma. We've talked about endocrine glands are the ones we are looking at. We are looking at endocrine glands. We looked at the pituitary gland. We looked at its details. We looked at the thyroid gland just of recent now. We gave the function of the hormone secreted, the result or the effect of hyposecretion, and the result of hypersecretion. We've talked about the parathyroid gland, its secretion, the result of hypersecretion, and the result for hyposecretion. I talked about that. Gemma, have I answered you? So I'm talking about gland by gland. And the glands we are talking of are the endocrine glands. To move on, we can move down and look at the duodenum. The duodenum secrete a hormone we call secretin. Secrete a hormone we call secretin. The role or the purpose of this hormone is to stimulate the exocrine cells of the pancreas to secrete pancreatic juice. So for this, we may know only the function, because we may apply it somewhere in our explanations, especially in the digestion of food. So the duodenum, it is the duodenum that secretes a hormone we call secretin. The secretin hormone goes on to stimulate the walls, the exocrine cells of the pancreas to secrete pancreatic juice. And remember, this occurs the moment the food gets into the duodenum from the stomach. It is only the secretin is only released when the food gets into the duodenum, and this is the role of this hormone. Gemma, we are going to get onto the adrenal gland. It's where we are heading. So this is the duodenum as a gland. Yes, as an endocrine gland. It secretes this hormone, secretin. Its function is to do this. So it plays a digestive function. If it is not secreted, the pituitary, the pancreas will not be stimulated to release its juice that contains the enzymes which carry out the digestive role of the duodenum. So the digestive role of the duodenum is induced by the secretin hormone, which is secreted by the walls of the duodenum itself. To move on, there is also this one who has just joined us, Sulfur. Sulfur, you're most welcome. This is my first time to see you, Sulfur. Can I know your name? KI95, at least I know you now. Can I know your name, Sulfur? To move on, we can have a look at the pancreas as an endocrine gland. We said the pancreas. Yes. Sulfur is Sulfur. You're most welcome. Nice to see you on this platform. So the pancreas is an organ in the body, part of the digestive system, an accessory organ to the digestive system. It serves as both an endocrine and exocrine gland. As an exocrine gland, it secretes enzymes. But the pancreas has cells that serves the endocrine function of the pancreas. And these cells are known as islets of Langerhans. They are known as islets of Langerhans, are the cells of the pancreas that serves the endocrine function, the endocrine purpose of the pancreas. The islets of Langerhans serves, they have two categories. We have the alpha islets of Langerhans in the pancreas, and we also have the beta islets of Langerhans. Each of these ones secrete a hormone. And the secretions of the pancreas as an endocrine gland through the islets of Langerhans play a role in blood sugar regulation. We shall find that the alpha islets of Langerhans secrete a hormone we call glucagon hormone. And then the beta islets of Langerhans secrete the insulin hormone. Let me think I'm flowing. So we called for clarifications. Where you have a clarification, a supplement, they are all welcome. So the islets, these are cells, the islets of Langerhans are the endocrine cells of the pancreas. They are of two categories. We have the alpha islets of Langerhans and the beta islets of Langerhans. The alpha islets of Langerhans secrete a hormone we call glucagon. The glucagon hormone play one role. Remember we said that in the body there should be no high or low concentration of anything. We should only have normal concentrations of anything in the body. So when the blood sugar levels or the blood glucose levels raises or lowers below the normal or raises above normal, these hormones are secreted. The glucagon hormone will always come in to actually decrease the blood sugar levels, to reduce blood sugar levels to normal. Let me think I'm flowing. And then the insulin hormone are always secreted in cases where there is a decrease, where there is an increase, where there is an increase of blood sugar levels to decrease them to normal. So the insulin will always come in to decrease elevated blood sugar levels to normal. We are talking about these secretions of the. So there is Kaka is asking, where are the islets of Langerhans found? We said they are parts, they are the islets of Langerhans, they are cells within the pancreas. And the pancreas is an accessory organ that is connected to the duodenum. It is found in between intestines. It is actually an attachment on the duodenum, where the duodenum is from, if this is the stomach, so the duodenum is the first part of the small intestine that curves to start the coiling. So the pancreas is located here. It is a leaf-like structure that is pink in color. The Baganda call it a katago. It is what we call the pancreas. So the pancreas has two kinds of cells. It has the exocrine cells that secrete the enzymes, and the endocrine glands we call the islets of Langerhans. To continue, let me think I've answered that. I've answered Kakra. To continue, this is how the insulin actually decrease or reduce blood sugar levels. Don't forget this, include this to normal, because the insulin does not just decrease or reduce blood sugar levels, but it does so such that it brings it to normal levels. I want you people to do me the assignment. You're going to give me the amount of sugar that is normal in grams, that is normal in a cubic centimeter of blood. I want to find the normal amount of sugar that must be in 1 cubic centimeter of blood. As the assignment, put the answers in the comments. One, so when the blood sugar levels are too high, my friend, that is a very big problem. So the insulin has to come in. And these are the things or the adjustments the insulin causes or brings about so that the blood sugar levels are reduced to normal. One, it stimulates liver cells, or what we call the hepatocytes, to convert only excess, not all excess glucose to glycogen, for storage. You people always mistaken. You always say insulin converts. No, the insulin just stimulates the liver cells. They are the liver cells that serve this purpose of converting the excess glucose levels to normal. I mean, of converting the excess glucose molecules to glycogen. So this glycogen is an insoluble form of glucose that cannot appear in blood. Remember, there is what we call first pass effect. I want you people to also make research on this. What did this word mean? But to clarify it for you, as food is leaving the digestive system through blood, it must pass through the liver. As it passes through the liver picks what is needed by the body and let it pass to the heart for circulation to other parts of the body. And what is in excess cannot cross the liver. So among the end products of digestion, we have glucose as a result of digestion of carbohydrates. Once it is in excess, it is always converted to glycogen, a function done by the liver cells under the stimulation of the insulin hormone. Secondly, the insulin hormone increases cellular respiration such that more glucose is converted, is oxidized to ATP. Let's use energy. To energy. So it increases the rate at which the excess glucose is broken down in presence of oxygen to produce energy. So this act of increasing cellular respiration is also intended at reducing the amount of glucose in the blood. Still, the insulin hormone cause actually reduction of excess glucose to fatty acids for deposition under the skin and around delicate organs. So it also induces reduction of what? This excess glucose to form fatty acids. And these fatty acids, we know where they are kept. They are deposited under the skin to act as insulators, and around the delicate organs such as the heart act as shock absorbers. So this is what partly of what the insulin does to reduce the blood sugar levels, to reduce the elevated blood sugar levels to normal. And we very well know that hyposecretion of insulin hormone we know that hyposecretion of insulin hormone results into a medical condition, we call diabetes mellitus. The word mellitus is a Greek word meaning sweet. I remember those days when we were at school. I know that you are young girls and boys. Our mates could call us my mellitus. The word mellitus means sweet. So diabetes of sweetness, it is diabetes mellitus. It is as a result of hyposecretion, low secretion of insulin hormone. And it is always characterized of increased levels. Characterized of increased levels of blood sugar levels. They have symptoms. Diabetes mellitus has symptoms. I'm moving at that high speed so that we can cover enough. But before I go into that, let me look into this. Yes, we had an assignment. So sulfur, Sally is saying that, what if I say glucagon is to counteract the action of insulin? Yes, you're true. But we always need to give facts, give the actual function of it. Don't expect that someone will know the meaning of counteracting. But thanks. Tumusime Imran is giving me the normal range or the normal glucose amount. And I sent you to get me the normal amount for 1 cubic centimeter. So you've given me, very nice, you've given me the amount in milligrams. What I wanted is you people to calculate and convert the milligrams to grams. And you are giving me the amount in milligrams per 100 cubic centimeters of blood. Yes, it is known. You are all right. It ranges between 70 to 99 milligrams per deciliters of blood. This one is right. Per deciliter of blood. This one is giving me 90 milligrams per 100 cubic centimeter of blood. Is it the work of Google? Fiona is asking, what is a ganglion? A ganglion, when we go into this, a ganglion, if we have more than two nerve cells meeting at a certain point, this point is always a swollen section. The meeting point of nerves or nerve fibers is what we call a ganglion, if it is one. If there are many, we call them ganglia. Let me think I've answered Fiona. Timothy, what about hypersecretion of insulin? We are going to look into that. Fiona, let me think I've answered you, please. To move on, we are giving the symptoms of hyposecretion of insulin hormone. The symptoms of diabetes mellitus. One, when you for you people go to university for medical courses, you'll find that we have 3 major classical signs of diabetes mellitus. One, we have what we call polyuria, and polyuria is a term meaning excessive urination, excessive and frequent urination. Someone with diabetes mellitus urinates frequently all the time, and the urine in this kind of people pass out is always concentrated with a lot of urine. With a lot of sugar. Urination and the urine is always sugary. It has sugar in it. an extent that when these kinds of people urinate, the urine is visited by sugar ants because there is sugar in it. We shall find that the second classical sign is what we call polyphardia. The word polyphardia is frequent feeling of hunger. It means that is the hunger. You are ever hungry. You want to eat always. That is polyphardia. Then there is also polydipsia. I don't want to use these terms. Let me lab them off. These terms may confuse some of us. Polyphardia is a frequent feeling of hunger. Polyuria, you frequently urinate. The urine you pass out is always concentrated with sugar in it. And there is another term or another classical sign of diabetes mellitus we call polydipsia. And polydipsia is frequent feeling of thirst. You always feel like taking water. You take a cup of water, after finishing it, you feel like you should take another cup of water. This kind of people get delayed or no healing of wounds. These kinds of people with diabetes mellitus, their wounds do not heal. You get a wound and it lasts for very many years. So it's not always good to have to get wounds when you are diabetic, irrespective of the type of diabetes, type 1 or 2. These kinds of people, they usually get this problem of loss of hair. They have, actually, the hair usually pull out. And these kinds of people usually have almost brown hair on their heads. These are some of the classical symptoms of diabetes. There are more others. We said for us to give you a hint on what you must know. But the classical signs, they are majorly 3. That is simply 1, polyuria, you frequently feeling a frequent feeling of urination, or you urinate frequently. Polyphardia, frequent feeling of hunger, and then polydipsia, which is frequent feeling of thirst. There is delayed wound healing or no healing of wounds, and then loss of hair. Those are some of the symptoms. These people of diabetes mellitus always pass out urine that is containing sugar or glucose in it, that it is even visited by sugar ants and bees. Someone asked about hypersecretion. Hypersecretion of insulin hormone result into a condition we call hypoglycemia. I don't want to go into details of this. I'll talk about it briefly. Hypoglycemia is a condition where the blood sugar levels drops excessively below normal. This is always characterized of frequent hunger also. And whenever you feel hungry, you start to get that dizziness and actually you feel dizzy. These kinds of people faint whenever they feel hungry. So these are some of the those are some of the classical symptoms of hypersecretion of insulin hormone. So this is the condition for hypersecretion of glucagon, and diabetes mellitus is the condition or the effect of hyposecretion. Actually, this is hyposecretion for glucagon. It results into this. And then diabetes mellitus is the condition for hypersecretion of insulin hormone, vice versa. And glucagon does the opposite of what the insulin does. And therefore, the glucagon will come in to stimulate the liver cells to convert the stored glycogen back to glucose. It does the opposite. It will stimulate, glucagon stimulates liver cells, I think you are noting, to convert the stored glucagon back to glucose. The glucagon will come in to reduce cellular respiration such that it conserves more glucose. It is doing the opposite. Glucagon always coming to cause oxidation of amino acids and fatty acids to form glucose to increase the blood sugar levels to normal. So the glucagon hormone comes in to do the opposite of these ones. Stimulates liver cells to convert the stored glycogen to glucose. It reduces cellular respiration such that more glucose is conserved. It causes oxidation or stimulates oxidation of fatty acids and amino acids to glucose such that it is added to blood. And those are the actions done by glucagon hormone. And we've said diabetes mellitus is a condition for hypersecretion of glucagon, and then hyposecretion of glucagon results into hypoglycemia. I think with that, we can briefly break and come back for more. We can come back and look at the adrenaline hormone or the adrenal gland. Yes, Fiona converted already. Thank you. Tim Freya had also converted. That is very nice. Someone is asking what of impaired insulin secretion. Impaired, I think that is also hyposecretion. There are cases where the pancreas cannot secrete, where the pancreas is lacking the beta islets of Langerhans. In this case, the pancreas cannot secrete insulin hormone. When the pancreas lacks the beta islets of Langerhans, it cannot secrete insulin hormone. It results into a certain type of diabetes mellitus. And this one can only be managed by introduction or injecting the patients with insulin hormone. But the others can be regulated by using metformin. What is different, Fiona, what is different between hypoglycemia and diabetes mellitus? Hypoglycemia, the glucose levels are dropping excessively below normal. As it is dropping excessively below normal, these kinds of people with such a case, they usually shiver when feeling hungry. They sweat and usually faint when they get hungry. You shiver when you are hungry. You frequently get hungry. you shiver, and in most cases you faint. You lose your sight, you faint, and so many others. You cannot hear anything. Symptoms of hypoglycemia. You can look for more about hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia. So Timothy is asking me to repeat about glucagon. We said the glucagon decreases the blood sugar levels to normal. And it does so by doing the opposites of insulin hormone. So the glucagon hormone will come in to stimulate liver cells to convert the stored glycogen to glucose. So it stimulates the liver cells to convert the stored glycogen to glucose. The glucagon hormone will do the opposite of this one. It will come in to decrease cellular respiration. For it will decrease cellular respiration such that it conserves more glucose. It will come in to cause oxidation, not reduction this time. For it will come in to cause oxidation, not of glucose, but of fatty acids and amino acids to form glucose. Those are the things the glucagon does. Let me think I'm answering Timothy. Have I answered you, Timothy? I've said it stimulates the liver cells to convert the stored glycogen to glucose, decreases cellular respiration, such that more glucose is conserved. It causes oxidation of fatty acids and amino acids to form glucose. People, for more discussions, let's meet in the group. For those who would like to join us on the WhatsApp group, you can reach us via 0703 27 82 31. Let's meet in the next lesson. Thank you.